Even Piers Morgan is not buying Elon Musk's BS. And Elon has been publicly feuding with a bunch of different people ever since it was exposed that at the very least he lied, and he got caught lying after for a very long time he insisted that he got asked a bunch of times to go to Epstein's Island, and every time he said, "No, I will not." And then it came out that actually he was begging to go to the island. And so he's being called out by Piers Morgan as, again, at the very least, a liar, and you got caught, and you're not acknowledging that. And his defenders, Musk's defenders, are going, he's been consistent the whole time. Stop. We have the post of him saying, I never wanted to go, but they kept asking me. I said no. And then you see the email where he actually really wanted to go. And then I'll show you Elon having a little bit of a whine fest, meaning he was whining, pouting over the state of things. And I think it has to do with him being called out over the Epstein files. But first, here is Piers Morgan.
Now, Elon Musk, for example, has been, pounding away on his X account.
Bobby or Robbie? Robbie. That both work. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Never mind.
Now, Elon Musk, for example, has been, pounding away on his X account about how he's led the charge for transparency, he's better than all the others, blah, 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 blah. And yet when you compare and contrast his denials and saying, I always rejected all invitations to go to the island, to go to the parties and so on, and you compare them to the emails that have actually been in the files in real time, which show Elon Musk very keen to get on the island and go to the wildest parties, it turned out. So when people do that, when we can see with our own eyes that they're not being completely honest about their own positioning. I'm not saying for a moment Elon Musk did anything wrong or criminal or anything, but I do know what he's trying to spin about what he said in those emails is not accurate, which then raises a number of other questions. Now, Elon Musk...
Yes, so I understand what he meant, but a lot of the broadcasters, as to not like get sued or be at all misleading in the facts of the situation, will say, I'm not suggesting this person did anything wrong. And what they mean is criminal. And that's a fair stipulation. I've made that. We don't know that just because Elon wanted to go to the island that he did something criminal or that he abused anyone, for sure. That's an important thing to add. But wrong, definitely all these people did something wrong if you believe that willingly engaging in social outings, business ventures, philanthropic endeavors with someone who you already knew to be convicted of sex crimes against children, that is doing something wrong. Just associating is doing something wrong, even if not criminal, and even if not abuses themselves. So I do want to specify that. Just the quickest break from the video to request that you click the subscribe button. As you know, that's an important way to boost the message that we deliver to a larger audience, which is very important. Helps us out, but it's completely free on your end. Just by clicking that subscribe button, you help support our work. And then before seeing Elon sort of crying about this whole situation, there was one document that got redacted, but people caught pretty quickly that I think we can guess whose name was redacted, because the redaction leaves the bottom fourth of the letters, and then you could see, and then it's talking about SpaceX. Interesting. So look at this little video put together. You can put Elon over the redaction, and the part of the name that was left unredacted lines up perfectly. So then the question is not that this particular email was incriminating. It just says to someone from Mary Beth Brown, hi Leslie, shall we organize a lunch for Redacted and Jeffrey to get together at SpaceX in the coming weeks? Redacted, and that's the redacted that's a little off, and you can see Elon is generally available at SpaceX on Monday, Thursday, and Friday each week. We are located at Redacted, about 10 minutes east of LAX, and our direct is Redacted Best Mary Beth. And so then the question, again, is not that this in particular, aside from the thing we already have confirmed, which is all these people were associating and communicating with Epstein long after we knew who he was, but it's why is the Justice Department redacting Elon's name? Because they didn't in some emails. Why are they redacting it in this email? That's insane. He has no right to having his name protected in an email where they're talking about when they're going to meet next. Ludicrous. And assisting in helping Elon out there. And meanwhile, Elon's sad. World's richest man wants you to know how tough he has it, says the Daily Beast. And there's him crying. Generated by the Daily Beast. And this comes from him saying, whoever said, this was him writing on X after days of him being called out over his lies relating to the Epstein files. Whoever said money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. And then he included an emoji. It was a sad emoji. Forbes estimates that SpaceX's CEO currently has a net worth at $852 billion. 500 million. Now, for perspective, that is bigger than the GDP of Switzerland, Israel, Kazakhstan, Egypt, Argentina, and Australia. It is, in fact, bigger than almost every country in the world, save perhaps the top 30. So aside from the biggest countries with the real big GDPs, Elon Musk himself, as one person, has a bigger net worth than the GDP of a bunch of countries. And that's his point. Money can't buy you an excuse for your lies. Money can't buy you a way out of being brutally exposed for, at the very least, lying. He lied. He said he never wanted to, asked to, never, but was only invited and said no. And in reality, he said, please take me to the wildest party. And even Piers Morgan, who at one point thought Elon Musk saved free speech in America, is going, this is bad. Because then it begs the question, why did he feel the need to lie? And what else is he lying about? But just so you know, you shouldn't worry about how much money Elon Musk has, because it's not even fun. He doesn't even like it. It's it's a nuisance to have $852 billion, or to have that as your net worth. He wants us to know. Midas Touch also talked about this. Who could this be? And then zooms in on the redacted, and it's just obviously the bottom of Elon. Redacted, and you could see Elon wants to meet at SpaceX. I won't tell you who he is, but he jumps up and down a lot, does ketamine, and has something to do with Tesla and SpaceX. Trivia. See if you can guess. Now, meanwhile, right-wing influencers who went from being very concerned about the Epstein files and everyone needs to be exposed to now are going, well, I care if it's a Democrat's name who shows up in some concerning context, are having to do some weird social media stuff to pretend like they're referencing the issue, but really they're engaging in a cover-up themselves, like Benny Johnson, who famously was funded by Russia. And he did a Kid Rock appreciation post for not being in the Epstein files, because all of their dear leaders lately are.
Kid Rock appreciation post here with the only guy not on the Epstein list. The only Hollywood celebrity not on the Epstein list.
Yeah, I'd like to take credit for that win.
What was the Grammys like? Did you even watch it?
Looked like a meeting, like a woke fest 2026.
Are you going to give up your land to the Native American tribes? Are you on stolen land here, kid?
No, I paid for this shit.
Not on the Epstein list.
And why is that such an exciting thing for Benny Johnson? Because the guy that he has kissed the butt of constantly is that guy's cabinet official, is that guy's other administration official, is that guy's billionaire buddy, is the billionaire buddy's brother, is. So then they have to celebrate when one of the people they like is not. Whereas the standard bearer in the past of the Democratic Party, Obama, nowhere to be found, despite his power and influence. The next standard bearer, Biden, nowhere to be found.
Not at all.
The next one, Kamala, nowhere to be found. So I don't have to do this weird thing where I go, some random washed up rock artist is not. Woo! MAGA's still alive, baby! But interesting that Kid Rock did post, or did write this in a song, quote, young ladies, I like them underage. See, some say that's statutory. And then the other artist says, but I say it's mandatory. So yeah, That was like whenever Andrew Tate said, "I'm not in the Epstein files," and people were like, or someone said that about him, and people were like, "Dude, you have your own files." There's the Tate files, dude. And then Benny posted, "Just hanging out with two guys who are not on the Epstein list." Right. And so, podcast listeners, it's Kid Rock again, and then it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Okay, Benny, now do Trump. Oh, wait. Take that down. Are you saying Bobby wasn't?
You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it.
So he was, which again, it doesn't, as was specified by Piers Morgan, doesn't mean he did something criminal. It's just that he does show up. He does on the flight logs. And so that even when he's trying, think about this. On a post that's trying to brag about how 2 prominent MAGAs aren't in the Epstein files, which is already a weird thing to brag about. Look, they weren't best friends with a notorious sex trafficker. I like the MAGA's alive still because it's dead. And one of the guys has some sus lyrics in his song, and the other guy was in the file. So try again, Benny. But so cringe. That's so cringe. This whole mumbo jumbo makes my whole body cringe. Ooh. Almost as much as this.
Simon, can you ask Tristan the important question?
Tristan, what are you getting?
Very good. Almost as cringy as this.
One of my sister's favorite icebreakers to ask at a dinner party, in addition to asking people's goal weight, is this. What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
So apparently Barry Weiss's sister asks people at dinner parties as an icebreaker, what is your goal weight? Hey, advice. Bad question. In terms of cringy things, there's this.
Do you think an anaconda would make a good pet?
No. Well, it depends. It depends. I mean...
Okay, let me come back to that.
No one in MAGA laughs normally. That's just a thing. David Pakman said, the most culturally and politically relevant podcast of all time. Prove me wrong about that clip. And then back to Epstein Files related issues. You remember yesterday we talked about Trump losing it at Caitlin Collins for asking about Epstein survivors, and Trump starts going, why don't you ever smile, Caitlin? And that was brought up during an interview with Megyn Kelly where JD Vance goes, he's so deep the way that he will think of, why don't you smile? It's like there's something so interesting about that.
I mean, like, there was a moment in the Oval Office, I wasn't even in there, but, you know, I was in the West Wing, and somebody sent me where he was talking to Caitlin Collins, who's the CNN anchor. And I have, like, a decent relationship with Caitlin Collins, which is unusual given that she's from CNN. But the president, she's asking a question. The president says, why don't you ever smile?
Yeah.
And it's actually, like, so perceptive. Even if you're asking a tough question, even if you take your job very seriously.
Okay, the clip gets crazier, so get ready, it gets crazier. But already, what the hell does that mean?
What the hell happened to JD?
It's so perceptive for Trump to say Caitlin Collins doesn't smile while she's asking about child sex abuse victims. Why would she be smiling when she's asking about that? So already it's weird. And he's like, it's so perceptive. And then Megyn Kelly jumps in to help out his point and makes it a hell of a lot worse.
Even if you're asking a tough question, even if you take your job very seriously, like, why does it always have to be so antagonistic?
Well, I laugh because I saw online everybody was calling him sexist for saying that. And I literally said the same thing about Caitlin Collins a year ago on my show. She never smiles. Every once in a while, you have to smile. Roger Ailes used to tell us that. Every once in a while, you remember to smile, show the viewers they have a heart.
Okay. So first of all, why would she smile when she's talking about child sex abuse victims? Megyn Kelly goes, hey, JD, you're so right. And some people were accusing Trump, because he usually uses those types of attacks on women, of some form of sexism. But that's ridiculous, because I made the same critique and Roger Ailes would tell me that. Megyn Kelly accused Roger Ailes of sexual harassment in the past. Wait, you're saying Trump's not, I wasn't even making the sexist argument, but you're saying Trump's not sexist because he says the thing Roger Ailes says, who you publicly accused of sexist harassment and sexual harassment? That doesn't make any sense. Megyn Kelly defended President Donald Trump, Mediaite writes, against charges of sexism by favorably citing serial sexual harasser Roger Ailes, who Kelly accused of making unwelcome sexual advances. I'm spinning. I mean, so that I don't cry, I guess I can only do this in response to that bizarre point. Yeah. Nice. Boom, boom, boom. Man, he called back that clip. How did he do it? I don't know how he did it.